So things are good. All right. All right, there we go. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome once again to Astronomy Daily Live. It's Astronomy Daily Live for the 8th of February, 2019. It's absolutely amazing that we're already past the first week of the second month. It's just pretty amazing. So yeah, so hope everybody's doing well out there. Everything is good here. It is clear. It is clear here. So right after this live stream, I'm going to shoot outside and do at least in the what's called in the professional trade the on the engineering night. So that's a night set aside where not really any science observations are done. At the professional telescopes, at the big ones, they'll be checking out a new instrument or changing out secondary mirrors or tightening up bolts or whatever else, and that has to be done from time to time, and at least in my case, I'm trying to get down to trying to understand what is going on with this stupid scope. So hello there. So yeah, that's what's going on here, as it is clear. Hey there, Atta. Nice to see you in the chat. Glad you could come by. Excellent. Always nice to see you there. Hope everything's going well out there. Yeah. So yeah, well, before I get into that, let me say hi to the folks on the panel. So there is Tom. Hey, Tom, what's going on?
Hey, Cosmic. Not too much going on. A couple things on this day in space.
Shoot.
Yeah, the first one is on this day in 1984. Challenger shuttle astronauts Bruce McCandless and Robert Stewart performed the first untethered spacewalk during a mission. Up until then, all the spacewalks, the astronauts had been tethered to the spacecraft with long cables and those hooks. But on this one, they were actually trying to simulate and practice for repair of a malfunctioning satellite. So they were wearing these 300-pound nitrogen-propelled backpacks. They call them manned maneuvering units. I would call them jetpacks. And they did a second walk 2 days after. Both of those walks were about 6 hours, just using those maneuvering packs to get around. And
wow, yeah. I definitely remember that, and I'm still being reminded of it now. That I mean, look, they practice these things, right? They practice and practice and practice and practice and practice. But I don't know, that takes some guts, right? To do that, because they're probably very, very, very safe, right? But yeah, that's I mean, and it's probably not this extreme, right? But it's sort of like, I'm climbing a cliff face, with no ropes, right? It's probably much safer than that, right? But it seems like that is just almost crazy, right?
It's working without a net. You know, I'm sure they did have backup and emergency procedures that the other astronauts could go out and get them if something happened. But yeah, they were pretty much independent of anything but their little backpacks. Yeah.
But you know that one photo, and I don't know if it was taken on this mission or subsequent ones, but you know that one photo of just, you know, the curved Earth and the astronaut out there, that is definitely $1 million shot, right? I mean that is like, you know, a great shot. So I don't know if that shot was taken during this mission or some other one, but wow, what a view, you know?
Yeah. I don't know if that was on this one or not, but it there were only 4. They only did 4 of these spacewalks with the backpacks and no tethers. They did succeed in 1984 to repair the Solar Max satellite. That's what they were practicing for. And then later that year, in November, they retrieved 2 malfunctioning satellites to bring them back to Earth for repairs. And after that, they didn't use these packs at all until, for safety reasons, they decided not to use them anymore. And then in 1994, they had created a new version of the backpack. And so they did one more untethered spacewalk to test that. But that's been it since. They haven't used them since 1994.
Okay. Yeah, and when they were doing like the Hubble repairs, right? They were always connected onto it, I think. So yeah.
Those guys, for some of those, they were even connected to the Canada arm.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was a different arm or something. But
right. Wow. So that first one though, that happened today, back in 1984. You said?
No, that was yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, 1984.
Yeah, 1984. So, wow, that's 20. Is that 25 years ago or 35 years ago? I guess that's 30. 35. Wow.
Yeah.
Man, I'm getting old.
We're all getting old.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's fantastic. So you had something else?
Yeah, in 1999, the Stardust Comet probe was launched, and its primary mission was to collect dust samples from the coma of Comet Wild 2, and it was also going to collect some cosmic dust samples and return those to Earth for study.
Very cool. So that was launched today. Is that what you said?
That was launched in 1999 on this day. Yep.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Did they? Those samples did get returned. Yeah.
Yeah, they were returned. They were returned to Earth. It doesn't really. I didn't really see what resulted from studying those samples. I didn't dig quite deep enough, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, and I just have a very faint recollection of that, but I think it was sort of, there wasn't really a lot, and it was sort of inconclusive. It was sort of like, you know, we really would have liked to get a little bit more. But yeah, I might be wrong about that, but yeah.
Well, they were collecting it in some like cubes of that aerogel, whatever that stuff is. So I don't think that can really gather a huge volume of anything. But
yeah, wow, pretty amazing. Well, cool. Yeah. It's always nice to be reminded of you know, awesome things, you know, that have happened. All right. Well, also on the panel is Bobby. Multitasking of some sort there. I can hear it.
Yeah, well, it's like, what's the deal with your this day in history and stuff? When what the hell did Nightbot? What? What the hell did Nightbot just took Twin Flame out?
Took
I was about to
Twin
tell her that was a great show.
took Twin Flame out. Yes, every single newcomer gets pounded right away by Nightbot. Hey there, Twin Flame.
And this is some great symbolic spamming, because let me tell you something. I got some chill out music on the Pandora right now.
Good. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, Twin Flame, my Nightbot for some reason is like extremely sensitive to things. So, you know, I've been trying, you know, to teach Twin Flame to you know, keep it down and, you know, be nice and everything, but Nightbot just does not behave. So my apologies, but yeah, I still don't know if I'm too happy with Nightbot. Nightbot seems a little bit rude, as I said, especially to newcomers, right? Newcomers, you know, they come in here and they just automatically just gets absolutely pounded. So yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that a little bit. I think can I do anything about that? I don't think there's much I can do about it now. So Twin Flame, hang in there, hang in there. You'll be coming back soon. So yeah, I'm almost to a point where Nightbot might just go away, because it's not really, you know, I mean, if Nightbot is going to be that mean and cruel, yeah, I'm not going to have that, especially with friends. And Atta, yes, Twin Flame is a girl. Yes, absolutely, very.
Yeah, and I was about to tell her that she did a great show today.
Oh, good. Yeah.
She was also was simulcasting on Earth Radio as well.
Very cool. All right. Um, anyway, so Bobby, what else is going on besides that extremely loud TV?
Well, let me cut that out, and I hit the wrong button anyway. I hit the wrong button.
Well,
do it.
See how you are with the wrong button pusher there. See?
Yeah. Oh Lord! And did you not know if anybody, if somebody else doesn't want to take it, because I've been trying to convince like my people to take the Roku and use it to get like WWE and stuff, because like every once in a while they probably might watch WWE and stuff like that. If he doesn't take it, then I don't know how much I want for it and stuff, but but to be honest, I really don't know about the how to send a package and stuff, because this is something I never did before.
Yeah. Atta, I totally agree with you. The one thing that there are a few things that I dislike, and one of the things is sort of not special attention, but special rules for one kind of person over another, right? It's like, yeah, we all you know, we should all just you know, sort of do our thing, right? So for sure. Hey there, Andy. Nice to see you in the chat. Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice to see you
And,
there.
and Cosplay, the next time you introduce more than one panel, it has a this day in history and stuff. Introduce somebody else before you go back to that.
All right. Yeah, I might. I might. You never know. You never know.
Otherwise, I'll just keep on blaring some loud music, and I don't need a 7.1.
Well, I consider that a threat, so you better watch it there, bud. All right. Well, cool. So, like I was saying in the pre-show, as you can see, there is no telescope here because it is currently sitting outside, waiting for me to get out there and do some tests. Right, having this sort of intermittent problem, and I'm trying to narrow down exactly what it is. I'm pretty sure it's the mount, pretty sure. I don't know exactly why, except for the fact that probably I've got a little too much weight on it. So you know, I'm.
And when I was talking about fire sticks, this is actually was my uncle's, but the only thing he does on that fire stick when he had it was Cody. And when he gave me his and stuff, and I hooked up his computer so he can have Cody on his computer, and all you gotta do is just hook up an HDMI cable, and he's got Cody for sure. I decided to put like more apps and stuff, and it's the most finest fire stick for sure that you ever had.
Oh, cool! Nice. Well, it's nice to have things exactly the way you want them, for sure. So cool, very cool. All right. Well, anyway, so I've got the scope out there tonight. It's clear, it's cold, and it's getting colder. It's getting colder and colder and colder. But I'm not going to be out very long. What I'm going to do is I'm actually only going to take like 2 sets of data, and they're probably going to be really short. The first one, well, actually, both sets of data, I'm going to be looking at the globular cluster M79, which is nicely placed just south of the constellation Orion, in the constellation of Lepus, I think, and well, for various reasons, that is sort of a nice candidate, you know, to sort of show this problem, right? So the problem is that sometimes, and this started about a month ago or so, maybe a little bit more or so.
I'd like to welcome Seth Green in the chat.
Hey there, Seth. Nice to see you in the chat. Welcome. Yeah. So, so sometimes I'm seeing stars that are nice, beautiful, round, in focus points, right? Really nice. And sometimes they are these short little streaks set at about a 45-degree angle, like that. Now I'm taking 1 second exposures, so you know, I'm trying to understand a little bit more as to, you know, the cause of these streaks, right? Is it the mount? Is it the actual telescope mount that is, you know, for some reason vibrating, you know, going, Or is it something in the optics? Is it my camera? What is it, right? I don't know. I don't know.
And how old's your telescope anyway?
What's that? Say that again, Bobby.
How old is your telescope anyway?
How old is it? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I've only had it a couple years. Right. So I mean, it's yeah.
And,
I mean,
what do you think it might be time for a new scope?
well, if this problem persists, then it's time for a new scope. So yeah, you know, because the kind of work that needs to be done with it, I'm not going to be able to do it, right? So yeah, it becomes relatively useless. The OTA, the mirror and the tube and all the mirrors and everything, that's probably okay, and it's just the mount part, right? So using this as an example, okay, this part here, right, is probably okay, but it's the mount, it's this thing, right, that is causing, I think, this weird problem. And sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't, right? And I mean, I can't accept that, right? I mean, it has to either always work, or I'm not going to be able to do my stuff at all, right? So the plan tonight, right after this live stream, is I'm going to take the camera out and put it on the scope like I normally do, right? And I'll take a series of 1 second exposures of Messier 79, and I'll look at the pictures and see if I can see the stars in this, you know, weird shape, right? If I do, then what I'll do is I'll take the camera and I'll rotate it by 90 degrees, right? And then I'll take another series of exposures and I'll look at those and see if I've got the same.
Okay. So Twin Flame, I want to say that you did yourself a great show earlier today on Earth and YouTube. But a question for Twin Flame, even though she probably got kicked out so many times for spamming. How do you know if there's a thing called space and planets?
How do I know there's a thing called space and planets? Well, that's a concept, right? That is definitely a concept. If you're talking about whether it's real or not, you have to define what real is, right? And that gets into a long and deep discussion, right?
I think, like what is if you was like reading throughout history and stuff, they usually thought that once you get like above Earth's atmosphere, that's just it. They think the whole Earth is just this thing, and once you get out of the world, there's like really nothing out there and stuff like that. And then it expanded to more of a galaxy wise and stuff after the solar system, and that's usually about it. And then we began to learn how to expand our minds that there is a such thing as many galaxies, many planets, many everything. So we'd have more of an open mind type of thing when we want to explore more of the cosmos and stuff than being ignored for quite some time and stuff. Now we're getting the full understanding that that if we ever were off to explore space, um, then I would think we'll definitely will have the ability to learn more about beyond the solar system, beyond the galaxy, and maybe look around to other galaxies and stuff. So that's like how I would go for.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, you know, I mean, we can use our senses, right, to you know, gather all kinds of information, right? And what we do is, you know, we see things, and you know, we hear things, and all of that, and that gives us a sense of space and objects in that space. Whether those things are actually there, I don't know. I don't know if you can really tell, right? Because that sort of requires you to be sort of outside of that space, and that's something that yeah, I don't know if we're yeah, I don't know if we can do that or not. So yeah, don't know. So yeah. And Atta, I guess yeah, that's about right. Yeah. All right, well, cool. So I'm going to take the camera, take some images. I'm going to rotate it, take some more images, and then compare those two sets. If my star streaks are the same angle in both of those sets, then it's actually probably my camera, right? But if it's changed from that to that, right? If it's changed by 90 degrees or so, then it is definitely the telescope, and probably the mouse.
How does God fit on this? And like anybody's opinion, well, Cosmic may not be like a religious person, so usually, like I'm like I said, I'm like more of a Bible reader and stuff, and we had that discussion one time at a church activity about how really old is the Earth and stuff, and so in school books, they always say the Earth is about 4.5 million years old.
Billion.
My bishop told me that it says it in the books it's about 4.5 billion years old. But in the Bible, they really don't know when was the Earth created. So like when you compare like that textbook and the Bible thing and stuff, and having that that thing that's there's like were more sails and underwater creatures, and then became dinosaurs and stuff. But in God's way, we were just becoming more like what we are now, and we are just like starting to explore the horizons and stuff.
Yeah, and I think that you know, neither of those approaches, either religion or science, has you know, can be sure at all. So my approach is to sit back, enjoy, and you know, just have a good time, right? And you know, maybe not worry so much about those kinds of things, because they're those kinds of things are almost like a distraction, right? I would much rather you be focusing on, right here, right now, and you're just having a lot of fun, right? Yeah, that's and that honestly, that sort of goes well beyond the scope of this live stream, at least. So yeah, yeah. So Seth, I'm gonna go grab my camera so I can show you. I have to remove a kitty, and I'll be back in 2 seconds. But you're gonna hear a lot of rumbling around. Hold on.
Here
I'm gonna
comes
go get
the
it here.
glittering.
It's over here in a nice protected place, away from dust and kitties and doggies and all of that. But I've got an old school CCD camera. It's an S-Big. It's an S-Big ST7ME. I don't know if that's going to focus or not. There it goes. So there it is. Big monster thing. It weighs about 3 pounds or so. So this part, right, actually has the sensor in it. It's got a filter wheel on the front, and then the sensor itself is inside. I think it's right around here inside, and of course this part here would go onto the end of the telescope there, right? Right like that. And when I say old school, I mean old school, right? Parallel port, yeah. So, but this is a good camera. It's low noise. It's 16-bit, so it's got great dynamic range. It goes from 0 to 65,535. But it is a hefty thing, and like I said, I think that's probably why my telescope mount is having a little bit of trouble. The only thing that bothers me about my whole theory about the mount is that up until about a month and a half ago or so, everything was fine, right? And then all of a sudden, I started to get these streaks, right? So yeah, I'm trying to understand exactly why, and if there's something that can be done, then I will do it. And one option is to just get another mount. And I say, just get another mount. Yeah, I'm going to have to somehow come up with a couple of $1,000 to do it. But yeah, maybe that's a possibility. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, so Seth, there it is. There it is. So yeah, I'll be bringing this out. I've got a Celestron Nexstar 8SE telescope. It's actually outside right now, waiting. This is another one. This is a 5-inch Celestron, which I'm still trying to sort of decide what I'm going to do with this. I've got a couple of ideas, but I'm not exactly sure yet. So yeah, I'll be slapping this thing to the scope here soon. And like I said, I'm going to put it on like that, and then I'm going to put it on like that, and I'm going to compare the images and see see what happens there. So yeah, this is a great camera. It's definitely old school, but you know, it's got a little fan here. You can see a little bit of the electronics in there and stuff. Works really well. It's just old. It's just old, but works great. For science, this is absolutely awesome. With the measurements that I've made so far, there are indications, at least, that photometrically I can get about 10, well, maybe at best like 10 millimagnitude precision with this thing. So that's not bad. That's not bad at all. So all right, I'm gonna look at the chat. Yeah, you know, Andy, as I said, I'm not sure. And actually, yeah, I think the spec for the Celestron 8 SE is something like, you know, with the optics and, you know, all the other stuff. I think they're speccing it out like around 15 pounds or so. 15 to 16 pounds. And like I said, you know, this is about 3 already. So, you know, tube and everything. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. So
Earth Radio was looking at a amount for about $900. I was like, mucho longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, yeah, the matter.
Seth Green depends what is wrong. If buying a new camera isn't cost effective, if the problem isn't the camera for sure.
Yeah, well, that's absolutely true. Yeah, that's absolutely true. I mean, you know, what I'm not able to tolerate is sometimes, you know, it seems fine and sometimes it isn't fine, right? And I can't. I mean, you know, this thing has to work all the time or it's completely useless to me. So, you know, that's how that goes, you know, because I'm trying to do science, right? So, I mean, you know, I can't, you know, spend, you know, lots and lots of time, you know, collecting data if it's junk, right? There's just no point at all. So yeah, that's sort of where I am with that. I actually was talking to one of the engineers at Celestron and sort of, you know, described all of this, and he sort of thought too that it sort of seems like it's the mount. You know, the gears in those things are plastic, so you know, they are going to sort of wear out, and if there's any kind of strain, then you know, they're going to wear out faster. But like I said, you know, the only thing that sort of bothers me about this whole scenario is that it sort of suddenly started, right? It wasn't a gradual thing, you know, because I've looked at my data really carefully, right? I've been collecting data with this camera and this scope for over a year now. And so, you know, I've been looking at the data and it was fine, 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 it was fine until about December of last year. That's when I think I first sort of noticed this, and it was like that sudden, right? And since then, I've taken it out a few times, and sometimes it's okay, and sometimes it's not okay. And yeah, I can't accept that. That's just not going to work. Not going to work at all. So yeah, you know, if hopefully tonight I'm going to know more. You know, funny thing is that if the stars are nice, sharp, round points tonight, then I'm still not going to know, right? So you know, sort of a weird thing, but I'm sort of hoping to see those streaks, right? So yeah.
Yeah, you're getting a chat message from Otto?
I am. Yeah. So well, you know, that's what I'm hoping. But you know, if there's something wrong with the mount, why am I seeing it working okay sometimes and sometimes not? Right? So hello. So yeah, who knows? Anyway, that's what's going to happen here relatively soon. I think what I want to do is I was over at the research notes of the AAS the other day, and I noticed that there was kind of an interesting little article over there that I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go over there and take a moderately quick look at this. I have to remind myself where it is. There we go. So here's sort of the main page, right? So these research notes are very, very, very brief. I think they're supposed to be like 1,000 words or less, and one picture. And the idea is that, you know, if somebody has some new thing, you know, that they just want to tell everybody about, right? But you know, they don't want to write a full paper. Then they can send it here, and in a matter of a couple of days, it can be published, right? And so here are sort of the latest ones, and these go back. They're actually up to volume 3 now. They started this back in October of 2017, right? And then they did it all last year, and then of course, you know, this year so far, they've got January done, and here's February's things so far. And you know, as the month progresses, they'll fill this up a little bit more. But I thought that this was kind of neat. They're talking about Europa's optical aurora. Now, of course, Europa is one of the moons of Jupiter, and I think I was aware that we were able to see the aurora there, but it was nice to get a reminder of this. And so what they did is they're using the Hubble Space Telescope to observe these, both taking images and taking spectra, right? And the way that they're doing this is kind of a clever thing, right? Most of the time, when you look at, you know, all the moons of Jupiter, they're pretty bright, right? And the aurora are, you know, relatively speaking, they're pretty faint, right? But what they can do is there are certain times of the year when these moons actually pass right behind Jupiter, and actually Jupiter's shadow blocks the sunlight, and we can see this, right? And it's during those times that we can look for these aurora. So that's what these folks have done. They've actually made a number of observations. They made a few last year, and they have made a few more. So this is just a short and sweet little thing saying, you know, that they've done this and actually identified a few more of these. So yeah, back in well, I guess they reported it first back in 2018, last year, and then what this is all about is just some new ones, right? So so yeah, these ones they observed on July 14th and 28th and August 8th and 15th. So they're just sort of adding to their list, and I just think it's absolutely extraordinary, you know, that we can see these things at all. Of course, you know, they have to use the HST because not necessarily because these things are really faint, but because they're all so incredibly small, right? And so the HST, you know,
good night, Trinclo.
yeah, take it easy. All right, you betcha. Twin Flame, we'll be chatting more. She and I are working on some musical things. So yeah, very cool. Very cool. So yep, take care. Sorry about Nightbot, but yeah, I think I've almost about had it with Nightbot. So I'm either going to have to turn off a lot of things or just completely turn off Nightbot completely. I'll have to think about that a little bit. Anyway, so you know, they go into some details here and talk about, you know, what wavelength range they're doing. But yeah, so here are their new observations, right, from July and August of last year. So we can, let's see if we can zoom in here a little bit. Oh yeah, okay, we can. So what they've done with these images is they've sort of superimposed Europa's disk on these things, because of course you know, because it's being eclipsed by Jupiter. Woohoo! Good one. I think that was maybe about a 6.5 or a 7 or so. So you got to work on that a little bit. But as you can see, there, you know, I mean, it sort of seems pretty obvious that there's something going on there, right? A lot of this is noise, right? You know, just camera noise, right? But these spots, because they're so bright and because of their location, right? You know, this is actually, you know, the disk of Europa, right? It seems as though they are at least co-located with Europa. I guess the fact that they are seeing this in an oxygen line, oxygen emission line, which I guess there's a lot of oxygen in the atmosphere of Europa, which I wasn't aware of. I think that is kind of neat. So yeah, they're seeing it here. Here's another one, which is sort of a questionable one, but okay, here's some here. As you can see, there are some bright spots outside of this. So, it's like, it's kind of hard to tell exactly what's going on there, right? Here's sort of a faintish one. Here's one again where, there's a lot of spots. A couple of them maybe are sort of outside there. So, is this noise? Is this, what is this, right? Kind of hard to tell. Here's another one where it's sort of, almost in the noise, almost. Here's another one, that has a, some kind of bright spot just right on the edge, and then there's another one way over here. So yeah, these four, I guess, are the new ones, right? So yeah, sometimes they see a lot of activity like that, and sometimes just a little activity. I think most of the time, perhaps they don't see anything at all, right? And that's actually one of the questions I would have. It's like, okay, well, this is the Hubble Space Telescope, right? It's really, really, really hard to get telescope time, right? Really, really, really hard. And that time is extremely limited too, right? So what would happen if one were to be continuously watching this, right? Every single day, for weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months and months, because we really don't know, if these things occur a lot, or what. We would actually have to look and see. And in fact, I was going to do that. We can go over to the HST archive and actually find these observations. We can just do a search for Europa, and I don't think we need to resolve this in any way, a name resolver, because that's a decent name. And let's just do everything. And let's see if we can find these observations, which were, let's see, these were done July 14th of 2018. Let's try to find that one. Yep, there they are right there. I'll zoom in a little bit here for you. So here are the observations that they made on July 14th. Now we can actually go over here, and see the proposal ID and see how these are all exactly the same. That, of course, means it's the same observer. So wow, they actually got quite a bit of time, right? Actually, starting last February, like a year ago. Whoop, did I do that twice? And I think that's what. Yeah, so that's what these coincide with. So 218, 225, 31, 34, 34, 45, 45. Yep. 714. 714. Oh, now look, they made an observation on 724 and didn't see anything, right? Nothing there. Another one on 888 and another one on 815. So kind of interesting, right? Let's see, there are how many observations here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So out of 10 observations, 9 times they saw something. So, wow, that sort of tells me that these things are happening quite a bit at the time, right? I mean, that's a pretty small sample, but 9 times out of 10, when they looked, they saw them. So pretty interesting, pretty cool. So yeah, it looks like these were all taken with the STIS instrument, which is an imaging spectrograph. It's hard to know if any of these are going to be available. Let's look at the earliest one, back from 218, and just see. So let's see, these were 284 second long exposures taken at 2 different wavelengths, right? So 6094 and 6581, which, yeah, I guess because it's a spectrograph, that's probably just the central wavelength. It probably goes quite a ways on either side of that. But let's take a look at these and see what they show. So preview for this observation not available yet. So bummer. All right, so we're not actually going to be able to see any of this sort of raw data here. Not quite yet. Even from the first part there, but yeah, I'll continue to monitor this. You know, this is the processed data, right? You know, so they've gotten the raw data. They've gotten all their calibrations. They've massaged this a little bit. You know, they even say they smooth it a little bit. But yeah, and like it shows here, they were looking at this at 2 different wavelengths, right? So oxygen and hydrogen. And with the hydrogen, I'm not seeing much, right? That looks like it's just noise. But there is one here that sort of stands out, right? So maybe that's an emission. Hard to tell. Yeah, hard to tell. But these look pretty obvious, right? Relatively obvious, at least. So yeah, it kind of interesting.
Hey, good night to Seth Green. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Seth, for coming in. Come on in anytime. I'm here every single day at 2 hours UTC. Usually go for about an hour or so, and just think and talk astronomical things and space and science and who knows, all kinds of tangents. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I just thought that was extraordinary, and one of the things that I definitely wanted to do was sort of see, how often they actually saw this thing. And yeah, it turns out that.
And just want to let you know that if you were off to close out now and go to the NASA JPL YouTube channel, they got a lecture going on about scientific weather ballooning.
Cool, nice. Nice. Well, definitely check that out either live or later for sure. But yeah, so 9 times out of 10, they were actually seeing some kind of auroral activity on Europa. So that's kind of neat. You know, I'm kind of curious to think about, you know, the possibility of seeing this myself. So yeah, I've got to have a scope that works though. So so we will see. We will definitely see. Anyway, you know, just a short and sweet paper. The longer one, you know, they published their first results last year, is definitely available, and that gets into a lot more of the details in terms of what they did and, you know, their methodology, you know, behind you know, determining, you know, whether these are, you know, actual events or not. So yeah, kind of cool. All right. Well, like I said, I think I'm sort of anxious to get out under the nice, clear, dark, cold, cold sky. So I think for now, I am going to get out of here for now. And check the chat again.
Cosmic, just one quick question.
Sure.
Have you tried using your new scope with your camera to see if you get the same results, or do you not have attachments to get that to work? Just curious.
Yeah, I think my only concern about using this is that I have absolutely no way of balancing this at all. So you know, the torque is going to be absolutely huge, and I sort of don't expect that to work, right? And I don't want to damage it, right? I mean, if it's working now, I don't want to break it. But yeah, you know, this thing is just, I mean, it's not like massively heavy, but it's torque, right? It's you know, that's probably a good, I mean, it's going to be at least 8 inches down or so, and 3 pounds. So, you know, that's a lot of torque on those little motors. So yeah, I thought of doing that. And if there was a way, you know, to balance it, I probably would. With the Nexstar 8, there is a way to balance that, and I've got it balanced at least this way, pretty well. So yeah, that's a good thought. But I'm yeah, I don't think I want to do that yet. So maybe I will. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure.
Okay,
all right,
just popped in my head while you were talking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you know, if anybody has any ideas at all as to try things, or you know, all ears, because I'm sort of at loss, and I'm extremely depressed about the whole thing, because, you know, I was just last November, I sort of made a breakthrough with really beginning to understand, you know, the data, and realizing that you know, I was actually seeing some really awesome results, and so I was really excited about all this, right? And I was just you know, getting going on all of this, and then I have, I think, some kind of mechanical problem. So it's like, so, I mean, that's how these kinds of things go. So I mean, but um, um, definitely a bummer. But I'll recover. I'll be all right. I'll be all right. And if it is the mount, I'm just going to have to get another mount. That's all. So I'll have to save my pennies up and get a new mount. A sturdier one, that can handle all the weight. So those kinds of mounts are available. I'm just going to have to save my pennies and dimes and do it. So yeah, no problem at all. All right. Well, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get outside into the cold. It's supposed to be in the teens tonight, so I'm not happy. Not happy about that at all, but I'm not going to be out there for very long, right? So, I'm going to bundle up. You can sort of see my all my accoutrements there. I'm just going to pile that on. I've got a little hat and everything. So, and I'm not going to be out there, for probably more than like 30 minutes or so, right? I'm going to do the sky alignment. I'm going to take the data. I'm going to save it onto a thumb drive. I'm going to turn everything off, bring it all in here, and take a look at it all. So yeah, in the next 2 hours, I'm going to know, right? And probably tonight, the star images are going to be perfect, and I'm not going to be happy with that. so yeah, you just cannot please me at all. So no, there's no way to do it. All right, everybody. Well, take care. I will see you again in a little less than 23 hours from now. Just a reminder, the live stream for the 10th, which I think is just in a couple days, is canceled. So yeah, there will be no live stream on the 10th. So, all right, everybody, take care, and I will see you tomorrow. All right, bye.
Later.